guys, it's Kat and I'm in a weird setting. We had all like set up for destroying makeup on the makeup breakup, so I'm sitting at the destroying table. But I thought what I'll do today is like get ready with me trying some stuff that I've either have not tried at all or that I've used a few times, but kind of want to show you, like, I don't know, how it applies, what I think of it. And then there's a couple of things that I haven't tried at all. So this is the Clarisonic Sonic Foundation Brush. I've not used this at all. I want to try it today. So I'm just getting ready to go to an event. It's a really hot day. It's like 30 degrees. It's pretty hot for spring. And I'm going to try to make my makeup last really well, but also, you know, just show you stuff that I've been using, I guess. So to get ready with me using stuff. Alright, so I have done my skincare. Essentially what I've put on is a hydrating serum from Bioderma, a light moisturizer, so the Effaclar Duo from La Roche-Posay, and then Sunsense sunscreen. So that's what I've got on. I'm looking a bit shiny, a little bit of sunscreen, but the primer I've been using quite a lot is the Dermalogica. This is the Hydra Blur primer. So essentially it is kind of a fancier version of and probably a less silicone version of Professional. So it's a white kind of primer, and it's got these sort of like gritty bits in it which kind of just meld into the skin, but it's a really nice hydrating primer, which I sort of need because I've got oily but dehydrated skin, but it also helps sort of blur the skin, and it doesn't make my makeup break down. Alright, then I'm going in with my Revlon Colorstay. This is oily combination skin version. The reason why I'm going for this is it's the only foundation that I can kind of trust to last a long time, and it's going to be a long night, it's going to be a hot day, so I'm really hoping this is going to last. They have some really nice foundations that I'm using, like the Fenty one. I've got a nice bunch of foundations on the go, but this one is the only one I can really trust to last a long time, so I'm going for this one, Old Faithful. My shade at the moment is 200 Nude, and what I'm going to try this with is the brush. So I do have a Clarisonic Mia Fit, so this little handy guy here, and essentially at the moment it's got like the cleansing head on it. So you just take that cleansing head off and then put the foundation brush head on. I haven't used it yet. I'm really curious about this. You can use it for any cream or liquid product, so not powders. But if you do like cream contouring and stuff, then you know you can use that. So this is essentially what it looks like. And so when you take this off, it's a little sort of brush head, and these are synthetic, so they're not animal hair brushes, and I don't know, I'm really curious. So the brush head is a lot more, like it's a lot smaller than the cleansing brush head, so you can get a bit more precise. It's also a lot longer, so we'll see what that one is like. Alright, so I've pretty much heard that there's two ways that you can apply the foundation. You can either put it on like the back of your hand and kind of dip it in and put it on, or you can put the foundation, like dot it on your face and then go in and blend it. Because this foundation does dry and set pretty quickly, I'm going to put it on the back of my hand, just a few pumps, so it doesn't start drying and going kind of streaky. But oh my god, let's see what it's like. Alright, we're going to try it. Oh my god, probably should pick it up first. Stop. Pick it up first. Oh my god, I'm spraying foundation everywhere. That is no good. Where's makeup wipes? Alright, so I've already found a problem. If you put too much foundation on, or you turn it on before you go to pick it up, it sprays everywhere, and it got all over my dress. So I'm actually going to like put a tea towel on me because I don't want to have to clean my dress. Scared. I don't know how I feel about this. Oh yeah, it's not, if you pick up a small amount, it kind of blends it nicely. I know, like, it's probably also best to kind of keep it away. Yeah. To not kind of put it really close to your skin, because it kind of leaves lines. But if you Okay, what am I talking about? So if you kind of push it too much onto your skin, it kind of leaves lines, but if you just kind of hover it just at the tips of the brushes, it kind of blends it nicely. I just don't like the mess that it creates. But it does apply it nice and, I don't know, lightly, because this foundation you can apply quite heavily and it can look a bit cakey. This is not bad. Alright, I didn't hate that. I think it applied, I think for me, Revlon Color Stay is notoriously hard to use with a brush because it does start setting and looking quite streaky. So I think I really put this to the test with this foundation. I pretty much always apply this with a damp sponge or even my fingers because a brush, it kind of leaves kind of streaks. So the fact that this looks alright, I think shows that this does actually apply makeup quite well. What I did notice, I've still got dots of foundation set on my dress, which is kind of annoying. They're really small, so hopefully no one can see them. But what I did notice was that if you have something quite liquidy and you put it on and pick it up, or turn this on and then go to pick it up, it sprays it everywhere. So I'd probably say the best way is to apply the foundation just in an area on your face and then kind of work it around. When I did actually go to an event and I was given this, and they kind of gave us a foundation stick to go with it. So this is just like in the Ultra Wear range, and it's a stick foundation. And I'm sure if you kind of put a stick foundation on and blended this, it would work perfectly. But this, even though it's an Ultra Wear like foundation stick, for me it doesn't last very well. So, and I don't want my makeup to break down today. So yeah, that was an interesting test. I don't hate it. Yeah, I just think this is a little bit messy for my personal daily use. But I don't know, I don't hate it. I'm gonna have to spot clean this as well. I might do that now. I did also want to say that this brush is kind of soft when you like feel it, but when it is doing that vibrating motion, it does feel a little bit scratchy. So I'm not yet sure if I think this is worth the hassle, but the finish is not too bad. All right, now for concealer, and I'm going to try a few different things. At that same event where I got that foundation head from Clarisonic, I did get this Ultra Wear concealer, which I think is a new product. Now, they didn't have many shades, which I thought was strange, holding a PR event and not having many shades. So the shade that I got is a dark one. This is 320 Bisque, which is probably, I look like a ghost on camera, but it's way too dark for me. I still want to try it though. Oh, it's got a nice consistency actually. So it's that color there. Oh, it's very thick. So too dark for me, but I thought what I'll do is mix it with one that's too light for me and is a really good product and I kind of want to use up. So this is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Illumination in medium. This has sort of like a pinky undertone and is quite light, so it's supposed to be brightening, but I find that, yeah, it kind of is too light for me, so I'm going to mix the two. That's what I'm doing. I've got a little Real Techniques sponge. This is, I don't know what it's called, but I use it for concealer. So I'm going to probably do this on my T-zone and under my eyes because that's where I get quite oily and I want my makeup to last. That combination's actually not too bad. Oh, it's looking a bit orange or a bit, yeah, a bit yellow for me. Yeah, I might need to put more of the illuminating corrector in it because it's too yellow for me. That's a bit better. So there we go, a bit better. I'm just going to take that on the nose. That's really high coverage. Tempted just to kind of blend that out a bit with another sponge because my God, that is a lot of coverage. Alright, I can confirm that that is like super coverage. So if you want some super high coverage concealer, I reckon this Lancome one would not be too bad. I just wish I had it in my shade and didn't have to mix it. But I've got a damp Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge and I'm just going to blend that out a little bit because I'm almost feeling like it is way too heavy for, I don't know, the weather and for my preferences at the moment. So I'm just gonna dab that in. Derba derba derba. So even though this is too dark for me, I actually think the consistency looks quite nice. It is super high coverage and it blends really nicely with the sponge. So on first impressions, I don't hate this. I do think it's kind of handy having something a little bit too dark and something a little bit too light in your collection, so you can always mix and match depending on how tanned you are or whatever. Also, if you really had a foundation that you wanted to amp up the coverage, these are kind of good ways to do it. So I don't hate having them, but yeah, I look crazy at the moment. Alright, so moving on to some products that I'm trying to use up. I've got my Laura Mercier. This is the Secret Brightening Powder, so it's an under eye setting product, and I really like these for kind of really thick, kind of sticky concealers because it sets them really well. This does give flashback though, so even though I'm going to an event, I'm hoping there's no flash photography there because it's not the nicest, but these do set under eye concealers really, really well because it's a really finely milled powder, so it doesn't like make it settle into like fine lines and stuff. And this does have a slight illumination to it, so it does brighten that area slightly, but I'm just a bit concerned that it is not good in flash photography. So now I'm going to set the rest of my face. This is just the Maybelline Better Skin Superstay. It's a powder foundation, but I don't know, I'm just trying to use it up. Alright, so just with a kabuki brush, I'm just applying that everywhere. I do have oily skin, so I do tend to go quite crazy with the powder. Alright, I'm just going to quickly do my brows. This is Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in medium brown. Once again, it's a Project Pan product. I'm trying to use it up, so I'm just going to quickly do that. Oh, there's a fly in here and it's really annoying. And then a Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in number 4, and I just kind of use that to kind of add in little streaks so it doesn't look like my brows are really block brow-ish, and just to kind of define the end. Alright, now for the interesting part, I'm going to go in with the eyes, and I'm using the Anastasia Prism Palette, which is the new palette for the holiday season. It's limited edition. It looks something like this. That's it there. So I have used this a few times. I used the kind of like dark green all over the lid yesterday, and I'm just kind of going through trying to use all the shades a few times before I do a review. I feel like after I do this, I might be able to film a review, so maybe I'll do that and that will be up next. We'll see. So I'm just going to prime my eyes with the Kat Von D. This is the Color Correcting Eyeshadow Primer in medium. It's been in my Project Pan for a couple of months now, so I actually don't have too much to go. A few people have asked me what I think about this, and essentially I don't love it. I think it works quite well to keep the eyeshadows on and stop them from creasing, but you can see it's quite firm to apply. And it's not one of those products that you can kind of just smooth over the eye really easily. It is like a little bit, I don't know, waxier or firmer in consistency. So I like the kind of stick applicator, but I just wish it was a bit better to kind of blend out with. And once you do blend it out, it kind of blends the color out as well, which I don't know. I wouldn't repurchase this, but it does definitely work. I'm also going to be trying out another Anastasia matte lipstick that I bought alongside this palette. I haven't used this yet. It's in Brandy, which is a dark kind of color. So since it is a nice warm day and I'm wearing a dark lip and a dark dress, I kind of want to go a bit lighter or more fun and kind of summery with the eye look. So I might go in for some of the warmer shades. I might try to add Sphere and a few things in just to make it a little bit more fun, I guess. I might go Eternal. Yeah, kind of those three, maybe a little bit of the dark green on the lower lash line. I don't know, I'm gonna have a play. Alright, just to start, I might get Unity, which is like a caramel color, just on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to just kind of set the crease a little bit so the colors blend a little bit nicer. I sort of, yeah, I like doing this with a true cream color, but there's none in here, which is fine, it's a thing. This one works. Then I might actually go a bit bold and use the same brush and go in with that sphere color, which is like a neon yellow color. I kind of want to see if this is, I've used it in the inner corner, like a highlight kind of color. I want to see how easy it is to work into a normal kind of look with not crazy colors. Well, that doesn't look like a crazy colored look. I think that's actually not too bad. Like, I actually don't hate that. I think if you had like a khaki kind of color, like a green, to then deepen it, I reckon that'd be really, really pretty. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. All right, I'm gonna go in with this kind of really warm, shimmery brown, like a kind of coppery brown. It's called Eternal, and it's sort of similar to Sphinx, but a little bit more orange, and that's a little bit more cool toned. They're very similar though. I don't think you need both. Oh, that one's chunky. It's a bit of a chunky one. Let's hope it doesn't fall out onto my face. Oh, sort of a little bit. Nice color though. Alright, that's all over the lid. I'm sort of wishing that there was a like really dark green, like a forest green in here to kind of deepen the crease, and there's not. What colour do I want to go? I might go satin, which is a matte, and then that brown, which is parallel. So I just might use those two to deepen the crease a little bit. These are definitely very powdery, and there's sort of like the Modern Renaissance. They're definitely not as powdery as the Subculture palette. So if you're worried about these, they do apply a lot better. I just think the Subculture palette for a lot of people will be more wearable, but this is kind of a fun palette. It's not super Christmassy, but it's fun. Sort of blended away all that interesting yellow. I might need to go back and put more on. Okay, I just wiped off my brush a little bit, and I'm going back in with that yellow just to kind of intensify it, because that was sort of like, I don't know, I found it fun. I didn't hate it. It looks garish, but it's kind of a unique pop, and because it's not super pigmented, it kind of, on camera it looks a bit funny. Now I need to look from a different angle. No, I reckon that's alright. It's very yellow, but I don't know, I don't hate it. All right, I might actually not deepen that crease with the dark brown any further. I kind of think I want to keep it sort of light. With the same brush that I went in for packing on the product, I'm actually, because I don't like using too many brushes. This is just a MAC, I don't know, double-sided one that I got in a holiday collection, but I really like this sort of flat brush. I think it works really well at picking up product. And then I'm going in with Throne, which is the green. I love this color. It's probably one of my favorite colors from this whole palette. And I think with this look, besides a liner, I think I'm going to use like 3 brushes. So I had one blending brush, one kind of packing on brush, and then I'm going to go probably with a smaller brush for a highlighter. But you could sort of, you know, get whole looks using this, which I quite like. I much prefer a flatter brush though, so that's why I didn't use this, but you know, they're not bad brushes that come with the palettes. So for green, we're literally going lower lash line. This color's really pretty, and I kind of like a smoky lower lash line. I don't know if this combo is going to go, but we're going to try. That fly is doing my head in. All right, that green kind of looks brown, and you know, that could be because I've still got some of the orange on my brush, but I feel like that green, to really get that gorgeous sort of intensity from it, you got to pack it on, and I don't really want to do that on the lower lash line because it looks too intense. So blend it out, it actually sort of looks just like a smokier browny green, which I don't hate, but it's definitely not that pop of green that it kind of looks like it could be. All right, now for the inner corner highlight, I think I might go in with that yellow gold, which is Pyramid, and this is an Eco Tools Detail Concealer Brush. I'm breaking all the rules here. I don't listen to what the brushes tell me to do. I do what I want to do, and that's just to like brighten up that inner corner. Look, I don't mind these colors. I think they do kind of put you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but at the same time you can get super wearable looks out of them because I do have some really good basics in there. It's just, you know, how you want to combine the colors. I might also, on the same brush, go that neon yellow and just kind of pack it on a little bit just to add a bit of something, 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 something. This is what I did yesterday and I really liked the effect. After using this about 4 or 5 times, I don't hate the palette. It performs heaps better than the Subculture. It's almost on par with the Modern Renaissance. I do find that some of the mattes aren't as pigmented as the Modern Renaissance, but they're just easily blendable. You can build them up. They're really nice. This has a lot more shimmers, which I personally like using a lot of shimmers, as you can probably tell. So I like the fact that it's got a lot more shimmers. But yeah, it's an interesting looking palette. You can get some wearable looks kind of using this corner, some like amp it up using this corner, and the color that I was most kind of worried about in this is the yellow, but I actually find that I like using it, so I don't hate that. I'm like a gel liner fanatic, so I've got like 5 of them here and I'm like, I don't know what ones to use. I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown. I have spoken about these in my favorites last month. This is the kind of duo cream, what do they call, long wear gel eyeliner duos, and this is in Cypress, Ink and Dark Meadow. So there's 2 sort of dark greens, one is a matte finish, one is a shimmer finish. I like them both, and I think today I'm going to go for, let's go shimmer finish. Let's do it. I think this is Cypress Ink, I think. I'm not too sure. Let's do it, there's nothing else to it. Alright, so I'm just going to start with my wing. I find that this is a really nice gel liner. It's not like crazy pigmented like the Inglot ones, but it doesn't require building up. It just, I don't know, you just have to go over it not a couple of times. That doesn't make sense. It's not super bold, I would say, like the Inglot ones, but you have a bit of control over it, and if you just kind of play with it, it does leave a really kind of, it's not a patchy, I think I'm bumming up my words. So this is not a patchy liner and it applies quite smoothly and evenly, but it's not like so bold that if you make a small mistake, you can kind of mess up your look or it's really easy to notice. It's sort of, I don't know, I think it's a really nice formula. It lasts all day. I like it. I like the colors. Yeah, this consistency is sort of like what I prefer out of a gel liner. You have a lot of control. If you make a mistake, you can sort of like blend it out and get it kind of right. It's not super bold, but it's really nice and even, and it doesn't look patchy. So I really like this. I just find that I reach for these often. I'm going to take that same shimmery shade just on the waterline because I can. Alright, so I really like that eye combination. I like the kind of bronzy orange colour with the yellow, with the green liner. I like it. It works for me. I think it works for brown eyes. I'm just going to use some mascara and do my lashes. I'm just using Clump Crusher and the same lashes I use all the time. I buy these in bulk because they're always on sale from the Model Rock website for $1.95 each. So I just buy like 20 pairs, but these are the W376s and I cut them in half. So I get 2 sets from each pair and I just use them as outer corner lashes. I might do all that off camera just to save some time. Alright, so I've got lashes on, mascara on. I will list all the products that I've used in the description box if I like forget to mention something. The lash glue I used, if I can find it, where, oh yeah. The lash glue I used is by Model Rock as well. It's just like the dark toned one, so it looks blue but dries black. I think also I'm going to go in with a Benefit 3D brow tones. I've been getting into this a lot recently. This is in the shade 2. Essentially it's like a setting gel, but it's got like a sheen to it, and you're supposed to use, if you've got dark brows, you use a light one, if you've got light brows, you use a dark one, and essentially it just adds a bit of like dimension to your brows, so it kind of makes it look like it's not just one color, there's a few colors in it. So I kind of like using that for both setting my brows a little bit, but yeah, making them not look so one colored. All right, we've just had a battery change, and yeah, I'm gonna start doing the rest of my face, my lips, and then we're gonna be done. What I've been using for like contouring and bronzing, NARS Laguna bronzer. This is in my project pan, so clearly I'm trying to use it up, and I've done quite a good job so far. I'm just using a Real Techniques. This is a contour brush, yeah, contour brush, just to kind of add some of that. I don't contour too much, to be honest. I just kind of do a little bit, because if I do too much it just looks weird. I do my forehead a bit. This can look a bit silly once again, so I find that it's best to kind of just bring it down the neck a little bit so you don't look like you've just got a stripe of brown under your chin. I find, I don't know, oh, I got chunky foundation lips, that's attractive. Yeah, I don't find that this bronzer actually, like, it gives a little bit of definition, which is good because it's just light and easy to, like, if you're quite heavy-handed, it doesn't look crazy. But that might also be because mine's old and I'm getting only the corners. What I tend to do to add a bit more bronze, so I've got a bit of a fake tan going on, and to sort of work that into my face, I think this is discontinued, but just a matte bronzer. This is the Stila Sun SPF 15 bronzing powder in shade 1, so it's just like a light sort of bronzer. I've just got that with an e.l.f. complexion brush, and I literally just put that kind of all over my face just to add some warmth into my face, and a big fluffy brush does that well. So all of a sudden I look tanned. I'm like, what? Have you been to the beach? No. And then down my neck sometimes as well. All right, so that is tanning. I'm going to go in with a blush that I only bought last month. This is by MAC. It is the Extra Dimension blush in Telling Glow. I mentioned this in my favorites. It's like a kind of orangey color in the pan, but on the skin it's more of a kind of orangey pink with like a gold kind of sheen to it. Look, I say it's more pink. You can pick up a lot and it doesn't actually like transfer onto the face too much, but this is a Real Techniques cheek brush. That's handy. All right, and I'm just kind of putting some on. It gives a bit of a glow and a bit of a color, a bit of color to the cheeks. But I specifically like it for that kind of gold, kind of orangey glow that it gives the skin. I think it's pretty. Another thing that I mentioned in my favorites is this guy here from MAC. It's the Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Superb, which is actually like a dark bronzy kind of color. So look at the base, it's quite dark. So got to use this sparingly and quite light-handed, but it's really beautiful like on the shoulders and stuff. I might actually do that today. I've got a Real Techniques setting brush, which is what I use for my highlighter. I might actually put some on my shoulders. Oh, there's a fake tan marks. That's hot. Beautiful. Okay, I officially can't do this with my left hand. That is awkward. Yeah, so I kind of bought this as like a bronzed kind of highlighter, but also as like a body highlighter, but I am going to wear it on my face today. You've got to be very careful because it leaves like a bronze undertone to it, or a bronze base color, so I've got to kind of just put it on quite lightly. There you go. It does add some color, and I'm just doing a big kind of circle motion, so I don't have like a strip of brown. It just more looks like just a bronzy sheen. So there you go. It's gorgeous, but it definitely gives you some color, so you can, like, I pretty much have to wear it when I've bronzed, because otherwise it just makes my cheeks look really bronzy and the rest of my face look really light. So you can even put some like whatever. but when you wear it with a bronzer, it's really, really pretty. So that's my face. And then what I'm going to do, where's that lipstick gone? Here. Then I'm going to apply this, but before I do, I'm going to use this little Lush thing. This is a lip scrub in a brick form. I don't know what it's called. I'll list it down below, but this was from the Halloween collection. They've got some Christmas ones coming out, and I use this a lot. So it's like a sugar scrub, but it's a solid version. It's just in a bunch of like oils, and I like this to scrub my lips, and I just find it more convenient and less messy than the tubs that you kind of have to put your finger in and you can lick it off. All right, prep my lips for a matte lipstick by Anastasia. This is in the shade Brandy. I've not worn this before. I'm excited. The color is gorgeous. Swatch it. Oh, it's beautiful, but it's very matte. So let's move the mirror out of it, shall we? So these tend to tug a little bit, but when you have done something like prepped your lips, this leaves a little bit of like an oil on your lips, so it kind of helps it glide on a bit better. Nice pigmentation. Alright, I'm not going to lie, I think I'm going to have to go in later with a lip liner and kind of tidy that up. I do find that these lipsticks, they're kind of high maintenance putting them on because they are dry and they kind of skip a little bit and they don't, it's hard to get like a nice even look, but once they're on, they're really good and they last a long time. I also love this color, but I definitely need a lip liner. Alright, I'm kind of decided I'm going to look for a lip liner. This one probably doesn't work super well with it because it's not the right color, but this is a Maybelline lip liner in Plum. But what I'm mainly going to do with this is less about depositing the color and more about precisely moving the lipstick around. Like I said, these are actually really good once you get them on, but they're kind of a bit of a pain to get on. Alright, so I've just tidied that up a little bit. Alright guys, that is my get ready with me. Just testing out a few things, either stuff that I haven't quite shown yet that will be coming up, things that I've never tried before and my first impressions. But yeah, that's just kind of roughly what I've been wearing lately, using lately. I like this eye look, I think the colours are great. This lipstick still needs to stay in the lines, But yeah, it's kind of my summery, my transition between winter and like winter colors, but then trying to get into like summery skin. That's sort of what I've been doing. So anyway, hopefully that was moderately interesting. I will see you guys in the next one, which will probably be a review of this guy. And look after yourself until I see you next. Bye.